Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is going to be one of Kiryu and Back in Time. Now in this story, Kiryu would die of old age, or just die by being shot like he usually does in every game. Now, when he would somehow die, via being shot or old age, for some reason he wakes up and it confuses the hell out of him. Now, this also kind of made him mad because Haruta and Haruto were okay, but why? Everything he wanted to do is done. Now, what he didn't know is that from desires from his younger years, from Yakuza 2 of wanting to see Nishiki live, or any other game of just wanting something else to happen would, linger. So, we go to Kiryu waking up, and he would basically see a random woman holding him. Or to him it's random, but he knows it's his mother, but he's never grown up with one, so he does not acknowledge her as his mother. But he would see the person he acknowledges as a parent being Kazuma, looking at him and his mother as he holds a gun to Kiryu's mother. Kazuma has blood in his face, presumably from already killing his father, and then he would soon kill his mother. Kazuma then puts Kiryu in Sunflower Orphanage, and Kiryu stays there. Now, Kiryu, Sunflower, he stood out since he was either hanging out with Yumi and Nishiki, training, or having some interest in real estate. The reason Kiryu's interest in real estate is that, one, and I think it was Yakuza 3 or 4, real estate kind of bothered him in Sunflower Orphanage a lot. But then Yakuza 0, that's where he made the most money without having to be in the Yakuza. So, he's trying to pick up where his life kind of got messed up, trying to avoid the Yakuza, get more into real estate. But it led to Kiryu making money by any means necessary. By the time Kiryu was 12, Kashiwagi and Kazuma recognized Kiryu as probably as strong as an average Tojo officer. And actually allows Kazuma to tell Kiryu that if Kiryu can go out and collect these debts on a few small places, he'll give Kiryu half that money. Kazuma knows this isn't right, but does test Kiryu's mettle against average Yakuza, delinquents, so on and so forth. But the thing is, Kiryu, due to him having tons of free time, all he does is train, to the point where, instead of forgetting or being rusty with the Komaki style, he just trains the Komaki style constantly. He learns every style from scratch, but he masters it. To the point where he's basically a master of Rush, Brawler, Beast, and Dragon Dojima. Only including this because we can all agree, 0 and 1 were the pinnacle of Yakuza combat. It was. So, yeah. The Wheel of Combat Styles was the pinnacle of the series. I haven't played Ishin, but I think Ishin has that too. Only reason I think it's pinnacle is because they're fun. If I want to go the technicality peak, I'd go Yakuza 2 with how ridiculous the physics are, considering that Kiryu is ridiculously physically strong. Him punching someone and them glitching through a floor, I think could probably happen. He will punch you so hard your atoms get scrambled. So, I think that's kind of funny. But back to the story. So yeah. Now, Kiryu would just like money from Kazuma and Kashiwagi, giving him small tasks in Okinawa or in Kamurocho. Or Tokyo, but still. Kiryu would even befriend a few people he knows when he's a bit younger. Or he knows of when he's a bit younger. One of those people actually being, him and Nishi are still friends. At this point, Kiryu's 12. One of the time that Kiryu would actually be interested is in Okinawa, he'd likely probably be able to get some way to know the Ryudo family. Point where I think the head of the clan, he met Kiryu when Kiryu was like 40 or 50. I think that guy's probably like in his 60s. I can Google it. So he's 20 years older than Kiryu, because in Yakuza 3, Kiryu's about 40, Ryudo's about 60. So, yeah. Or not Nakahara. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Ryudo. But yeah, so Ryudo's about 20 years older than Kiryu at this point. Kiryu's 12, he's about 32. Kiryu meets him by actually just more collecting debt to some small places, actually pay money. They dropped Kazuma in exchange for Ryudo, but Kiryu beat up Ryudo and took back the money, and Nakahara, Ryudo decided to fight Kiryu. It's more or less like Ryudo wins, but Kiryu basically just laid hands on him in a way that no one ever laid hands on him before. He does try to recruit Kiryu till he hears that Kiryu is actually, well, at Sunflower Orphanage, but he does tasks like this for Kazuma. And now Ryudo decides he should give back money he's going to take from Kiryu, and actually decided that he wants to go under Kazuma, because, well, he likes Kiryu, and Kiryu says he wants to go under Kazuma at some point, so, yeah, or tells him that. So, yeah. Now, Kiryu would train Nishiki, and Nishiki would basically prefer to go with the brawler style, where he would actually develop a style that he calls the bruiser style, which more or less makes up of, if you want to go to martial arts, it resembles Muay Thai, more or less. Kiryu's brawler style is probably more or less resembling boxing. That's what Kiryu mostly would use, I would say, is boxing, kickboxing. So, yeah. Well, boxing, kickboxing, or, well, acrobatics, considering having to drop kick off someone's head and do a flip as he recoils his feet back. But, yeah. Now, by the time Kiryu 17, Kiryu basically just claimed any Yakuza family in Okinawa, basically just destroying them all. But also, he's collected enough money to the point where he basically bought out any place that's paying money for Kazuma. And Kiryu basically just took them from Kazuma, but Kazuma was aware Kiryu was the one doing it. Due to Kiryu's reputation around Okinawa as well, no one really cared about how old Kiryu was. They basically willingly gave their businesses to him, because Kiryu can actually protect them. The Ryudo family does mainly watch over everything Kiryu has going, so, yeah. Now, when we have the flashback of Kiryu and Nishiki crying, wanting to join the Yakuza, or Kiryu crying and yelling, Nishiki just crying. This doesn't happen, it's more or less Nishiki doing the same thing. But Kiryu had already spoken to Kazuma. He doesn't want to be in the Yakuza, because he collected money fast enough to decide that he wants to be in real estate. So, yeah. Now, Kiryu would decide, what he told Kazuma is, I want to be my own man, I can't ask you for everything, wondering if I'll shoot it down or approve it, like a strict parent. I acknowledge you as my father, but also I need to be my own person. And Kazuma would understand that. Nishiki would have the same words repeated to him by Kazuma from Kiryu. Like, Kazuma's like, this is what Kiryu told me, you need to follow that same path. If you are still set on this for a month from now, I'll let you join my Yakuza family. And Nishiki decides that he'll join Kiryu instead. Now, Kiryu at this point is already in Kamurocho, getting a tattoo on his back of just line art of the dragon. Now, with this, Nishiki would arrive in Kamurocho like a few hours later. As Kiryu's just sitting on a stool with just talking to Yumi, who had left with him. Nishiki at this point was already established that Kiryu and Yumi are pretty good friends. Now, Kazuma at this point, we're going to let Yumi, who was 14, leave with Kiryu to the fact that Kiryu vowed to protect her. She kind of wants to see Kamurocho. Now, Kiryu would also end up buying a small, Kazuma family office is just a gigantic, area. Kiryu would basically buy a small, area near there that him and Yumi will stay in. So, yeah. Hold up. I just realized something. At this point, Reina is in the picture, but we don't know how old she is. But to serve alcohol in Japan, you have to be 20. So, I assume Reina is at least probably, 1 to 3 years older than Kiryu in the story. I'll go with 3 to highball it. But at this point, Kiryu can likely just buy Serena and just own it. And due to Kiryu basically looking like a Yakuza member already, no one's gonna tell him different. Plus, Kiryu already is growing out his usual appearance that he has in literally every Yakuza game besides 0. So, yeah. But Nishiki would find Kiryu at the tattoo parlor wearing white dress pants and a red blazer, but not blazer, red button-up shirt, but the buttons aren't really buttoned up, they're kind of on his shoulders. The shirt's just on his shoulders. But Nishiki would walk up to Kiryu, who was about to leave, and basically just get on his knees and slam his head in the concrete floor, not caring how much he's bleeding. He just yells, saying, whether it's Tojo or Omi, I want to be with you. You're my only, you and you are my only friends, and I can't bear to be alone. Kiryu just kind of smiled at Nishiki before basically pulling him up and wiping the blood off his face with like the white blazer he has behind him, and tells Nishiki he's going into real estate. In fact, he's already found a good hideout for them, or a good base of operations. So Kiryu can have Serena and just a random building near the Kazuma family building. So those two places. Technically, there's a lot more if he were to go to Okinawa, but he's not going to go there right now. So yeah. With this, Kiryu would basically bring Nishiki and Yumi to Serena. At this point, it's not even a bar; it's more or less just a cafe. That Nishiki and Yumi serve at. Kiryu just owns it. Now, Kiryu and Yumi Yumi serve there. Kiryu owns it. Kiryu go back and forth and using this bar as basically having Cosmo go in there, and they can have their own meetings in there if they're too close to the Dojima family. So yeah. Now, eventually, like a few months pass. Kiryu would eventually head farther like towards but should be towards Kansai, but still. Kiryu, because Majima's accent is supposed to be from Kansai, but yeah, Kiryu basically find Majima and Saejima. What he usually does is because he in his older age, Majima retired. Kiryu and Majima are basically just drinking buddies at this point. But Kiryu basically finds a small place, kick open the door, as he remembers how Majima described the area, and he's aware of the Shimano family. He basically just went from Shimano family area to area, so he could find a place where Majima would likely be. He's not kicking a door, probably. He'd probably like to just shove it open. But immediately, we see Majima pull a gun on Kiryu, but Kiryu grabbed his wrist and kicked him right in the chest, full force. Knocking the wind out of Majima, definitely. Majima would cough insanely hard, but Saejima would try to jump at Kiryu. Only Nishiki kicked him right in the face, pinning him against the wall, telling him that they weren't here for a fight, but I guess Kiryu opened the door a bit aggressively. Kiryu kind of has not a red expression, but he obviously looks a bit embarrassed. He doesn't really blush or anything. He just looks embarrassed, and said, "That's my bad. I didn't mean to startle you pulling out your guns, but I shouldn't be worried either way." Majima says, "What are you talking about? These are guns. You should be worried." He says, "About that, I can tell you who gave them to you and how they messily tampered with them." Kiryu would grab Majima's gun and basically just empty it, showing off the rubber bullets, and Majima would just freeze. Immediately he went through the bag, finding out that they're all rubber bullets. He didn't even bother checking them. Before he eventually would just throw the gun out the window and yelling, "Damn you, Shibata!" Or yelling, "Damn you, Shibata!" Saejima would just pull Nishiki off of him. And Saejima and Nishiki is more or less superior in speed and has really good just skill overall. Saejima is just a gigantic brute that can take hits, definitely, but also is just physically a monster. So, yeah. This is before Saejima was locked in jail for 6 years. This is 3 years before Zero. Yakuza 1 is 7 years after Zero. No, this is 12 years before Saejima was in prison. He had to sit in prison for 12 years, no fighting, no nothing. He cannot do a thing. At this point, Saejima is just... this man's probably at his peak power right now, besides, beginning of 3 or something. Imagine, his maximum... I haven't played all the Yakuza games. I have, but, they're all very much spread out, so it's hard to, determine what's what. But basically, imagine the maximum upgraded Saejima in the most recent game he appeared in. Imagine that, and that's how strong this Saejima is. So, yeah. But, what else? Where was I going? Oh, yeah. So, Kiryu basically just tell them about Shibata and how they wanted someone to take the fall for killing the Ueno men, while they wanted to do it themselves. So they get the credit, Saejima or one of them takes the fall. But he kind of Kiryu's like a mastermind. He let it slip us. They wanted Saitama specifically take the fall. Saitama was like, wait, what? Why me? What about Majima? Saitama jumped to the conclusion that Majima was going to betray him. But Kiryu said, oh wait, no, mess that up. They want to kidnap Majima and basically hold him while you get arrested. They see a bit more value in him, but they know for a fact he's not going to submit, so they have men on standby to have him captive, and they're to have you take the fall. Majima was a bit shocked by this, but eventually, this does lead to Majima not having an eye patch. But let's say somehow during training he does lose an eye. Let's say over like the next few years, like he just loses an eye somehow. But I don't really think people care about that much. So yeah. But Kiryu's plan, by the way, like his plan for now is literally just become the Tojo clan head, but only become the third chairman. That's like his plan, become the third chairman. That's it. So yeah. But Saitama would basically agree to be with Kiryu, and so would Majima, like they agreed to go with Kiryu. Because eventually this is a bit better than going with Shimano and Majima technically losing an eye, and Saitama going to a jail. It's not even a registered jail, just going to a jail, especially for Yakuza to get abused there. So yeah. But whilst Kiryu has Majima and Saitama, he decides to actually more or less get a taxi and drive to Tojo HQ. Or pay them drive to Tojo HQ. Kiryu, at this point, isn't really buying out all of Kamurocho. He's buying out Pink Street specifically because they're just now starting up with their adult attractions. Kiryu knowing what people want to have in those attractions, Kiryu would more or less, how do I phrase this? Kiryu more or less knows how to attract people faster, so it's blossoming a lot faster, giving Kiryu a lot more money. So Kiryu would, at this point, have enough money to basically buy Majima and Saitama, who are basically just no-names. That's all it is. They're basically not no-names. They're high enough to have their tattoos, but they're not even lieutenant advisors yet. Like, yeah, we acknowledge you, you're there, you're impressive. You're not that high up, though. Who cares that much? So it doesn't really cost that much money to buy Majima and Saitama off Nakahara. Nakahara is the current second chairman of Tojo clan. But Kiryu basically tells Nakahara that he wants to do real estate, and that these two are more or less just hired muscle in case people aren't willing to leave the buildings he wants to buy. And he even offers Nakahara, if you need to, you're more than welcome to head to Pink Street and use our more than helpful attractions. And with this, Nakahara would actually kind of agree to that, saying, I'll take you up on that offer someday, but go ahead and take them. And just says, you leave before Shimano throws a fit, but I'll announcing that those two are exiled from the Yakuza. So with this, Kiryu agrees, and yeah. Now, for 3 years would pass, and Kiryu's 20, Majima's 25, all that. So Kiryu and Nishiki are 25, Kiryu and Nishiki are 20, Yumi is 20, she's 17, Reina is probably about 20 as well. But she's now the chief. She's the barkeep at Serena, and Yumi's a hostess, and Nishiki is a server. So yeah, like Yumi's more or less someone to talk to. Nishiki will serve you drinks, all that. But Kiryu and the meantime also taking over a small gang with bat tattoos. They weren't really all too strong. They'd even recently had a clan head, or a new switch in the head of the gang. Now, Kiryu would find them after a gang fight where one of the men had recently lost his hand. Kiryu was able to get him to a top-of-the-line hospital, paying all the bills, but one man had already done something heinous, so Kiryu had that man taken care of by Saitama. As Kiryu kind of hates this man with a passion. This man was named Oda or something. Kiryu doesn't pay all that much attention to his name, pretending he doesn't know it. So yeah. Kiryu would have Majima and Saitama in Sotenburi, basically him owning most of Sotenburi. Like all the businesses you can buy in Canon and Yakuza 2 with the Cabaret Club, Kiryu has basically all those businesses on lock. So he has all of those, but they're also flourishing because he knows what will make them popular. But also he has the same Four Shine Cabaret Club. And the owner of that one is, Majima owns Four Shine, the other one he had in Yakuza 0, and the Grand. Majima's kind of the manager of those 3 cabaret clubs. Majima runs a small security business there, and he basically owns he has a security business that basically spans all across the 3 clubs, but still takes care of the other businesses. But Kiryu would also take care of something called, a business called the Four Kings, and Kiryu basically has them on lock as well, but has the Pleasure King in Sotenburi as well, more or less, taking in girls, recruiting them as more like a recruiter. So, yeah. Majima even has some kid that he occasionally trains at Saejima named Ryuji. Kiryu also knows Ryuji and does offer to train him once in a while, and Ryuji goes back and forth to Sotenburi and Kamurocho to train with Kiryu. Yeah, Ryuji's parents aren't really all too caring about what he does. Mainly his mom, but still. So yeah. Now, while Majima was in Sotenburi, he came across Sagawa while he's training with some old guy he met. Sagawa did try to pull rank on Majima, saying that, Majima, give me a discount, I'm your senior after all. But when Sagawa tried to say that, Majima basically just decked him in the mouth so hard that Sagawa felt his teeth coming loose and then out of his mouth. Majima looked down at Sagawa before saying, "Shut the hell up. I do real estate, not Yakuza business. I do real estate and cabaret clubs, not Yakuza." And Sagawa just got up, walking away, holding his mouth. Its blood dripped from it as like a faucet. And eventually, Kiryu would call Majima, hey, Majima, I need you to find a massage parlor. And before you ask, not that kind. If it was that kind, I would call it called Pleasure King. But there's a blind girl in this massage parlor named Makoto Makimura. The new guy Tachibana I got a few months ago, he's finally out of intense care, and apparently she's his sister. So I need you to go grab her so we can bring. So I need you to grab her, have her safe. Because Tachibana's coming there, and I don't want some people after her. So all you have to do is just guard her, you'll be fine. And Majima's okay with that. So, yeah. Now, eventually Tachibana, who's not as, sick in this one, is more because he lost so much blood, his kidneys were messed up. He didn't lose that much blood, but he does have, He has an endurance problem, is more or less what it is. He doesn't randomly get sick. He won't die if he's without care too long. No, he just can't fight for too long, or else he will die without care. So yeah. But Tachibana would go to Sotenburi with Ryuji, who's currently with Kiryu, going with him to be a guide. Now, when Ryuji and Tachibana arrived in Sotenburi, Saejima had brought them to the massage parlor, as Majima would walk out with Makoto and Wen. Wen being the real name of the man who was using Makoto's name. But Wen basically look at Tachibana and just say, "So this man is Makoto's brother." He does see a small resemblance. Tachibana would hug his sister and then basically just say basically beg for forgiveness for what Oda had done to her. Now Makoto would just cry as she can just feel that this is her brother. And Tachibana would basically head to Kamurocho with his sister now. After 3 years, Kiryu basically owns everything possible. He is the new Tachibana. So, Kiryu's the new Tachibana. He basically owns all of Kamurocho's attractions, besides a few small things. So, yeah. Saga will basically see what happens he sees what happens with Tachibana leaving with Makoto. And with Makoto leaving, Sagawa is now under the bridge because he's supposed to grab her. Or at least have someone grab her. But I'm in this part here. This part is going to leave off with Sagawa wondering what's going to happen to him now that he's failed his mission. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. Adios.